Okay, welcome back, guys. Let's go ahead and continue on, and we're gonna go ahead and color in the cherries. And I'm using, of course, my Faber Castells, and the colors that I've chosen to use are the dark red and the red violet for our cherries. Just two colors that I'm going to be using. So let's go ahead and let's get started. We got a few bunches of cherries we're going to color in here, and I've got 4 sets. And let me go ahead, I'm going to go and zoom in so that hopefully you guys can see how I'm coloring a little bit better. Trying to get focused in here. And here I am picking up my dark red. We're going to start off with our dark red, and we're just going to go ahead and begin by layering in the dark red. And I'm using probably like a medium pressure at this point. I'm really trying to get that dark red in there. I really want my cherries to really shine. So I'm going to be filling this in, and then I'm going to be leaving a little bit of a highlight area just to kind of mimic the shine of a cherry. So I'm just filling this in as much as I can with just medium pressure. Probably might end up having to put a little bit more pressure. So I'm just leaving like a little corner of it, of a cherry, uncolored, and I just kind of like did a little outline there so I would be, knowing not to color in that area. So just adding a little bit more color, putting a little bit more pressure down, and just outlining that cherry. And it's going to be pretty much the same for the rest of these cherries here. Outlining a little bit, filling it in with the color. I know it's really, really tiny, so I'm trying to be really, really careful not to color in that highlight that I left in there. Really trying to get it nice and red as much as I can. Not quite sure sometimes about the Faber Castell pencils. Sometimes some of the colors can lay down pretty easily, and then I find some of the pencils are I need to really press down hard to get a good color, and maybe that's just my issue because I'm still pretty new to using Faber Castell. Okay, so now look, I still using that dark red. I'm gonna be switching over to the red violet here just to give it a little bit more, to give the bottom part, to darken it up the bottom part. And here we go. I'm picking up the red violet, and I'm just gonna really just apply this to mostly the bottom part of the berry or cherry here, just to give it like an illusion of some shadow going on there. So just adding just some of that just to the very bottoms, and I'm still using medium pressure at this point. So this is the red violet, and I'm really trying to just get that in there. I mean, and this is like pretty much the same technique that I'm going to be using for each and every one of these cherries on here. So it's going to be a little tedious, but we'll get it done. I know my hands were cramping up at this point. As most of you guys know that I have, health issues, and lupus and arthritis is one of those issues. So holding my pencil sometimes can be a little bit of a workout for me. And there I go again, just coloring in as much as as I can with medium pressure, leaving that highlight point, filling in the cherry. And like I said, each and every one of the cherries is going to be the same technique. Filling it in with a dark red, leaving that highlight, and I kind of like just draw my outline there for my highlight so I know not to go into it again. And so it just gives that little bit of shine factor that I'm trying to accomplish there. So I'm really using some medium pressure, like I said, and just trying to cover up as much white of the paper that I can. I think actually some Prismacolors actually would probably be better for this, you know, for something like this. I think it's just because I'm used to Prismacolors and they're a little bit more waxy. You know, they're wax based, so they lay down a bit more smoothly than the oil-based Faber Castells. So as you can see, I'm just having a little bit of a hard time getting some of that color laid down and getting it to the amount and the darkness that I want, but it's getting accomplished. And picking up the red violet again. I just got done using the dark red, and now I'm using the red violet. You know, it's just so hard to get that foil labeling in the camera right because of the lighting. You can see that I got some shadows going on there from my hand. I actually recorded this at night, and I don't know what happened to my audio, so that's why I'm narrating over my video. I recorded this and then I played it back, and for some reason my audio was gone, so I'm just trying to talk you guys through this as I am watching it and just telling you what I'm doing. So I just use that red violet again just to add some dark shadows, and I'm moving on to the next cherry and doing the same thing. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm kind of like the lay down of the color is very light, even though I'm trying to use some medium pressure on my pencils. So just some medium pressure. I'm still using circular strokes here to fill in my berry here. And just really trying to fill in as much as I can. And really get it saturated with this dark red. And there are a lot of berries on this page. I think I'm done coloring berries for a while here. It'll take me, you know, about a week or so before I'd want to attempt another picture with berries, you know. I don't know, but too much of a good thing sometimes can just get too much. All right. So just going ahead, same thing. You guys forgive my dry fingertips there. I've been having issues with some dry hands lately. I think it's because I wash my hands way too much, and it doesn't matter how much lotion I put on my hands, the skin just gets real dry. I try to get a manicure. See, I got a manicure, got my nails nice and pretty, and then my fingers started getting really dry, and I don't like cutting the skin because it just grows back thicker and just feels like it just gets rougher, and it's just very annoying. But you know what? It is what it is. So it's basically, I'm just going, like I said, using the two colors, dark red and red violet, and just using the dark red to fill in the color of the berry, leaving that highlighted area, and then using my red violet, going around the perimeter and then towards the bottom of the berry to add my shadow. So you guys are free to go ahead and just pause this video. That's pretty much all I'm doing, is coloring each cherry, and so you guys can go ahead and do the same. Just color in your cherries as shown as I'm doing, and then you guys can come back and then we'll go ahead and get started color in the stems. And then we're going to move on to the flowers there. And all the colors that I'm using, if I forget to mention it while I'm, narrating this, I will have all the colors of what I use for each part of this video in my description box below. And if there's any page that you guys want to see in this book, colored and stuff like that, just let me know. And just tell me what page, which page it is, and we can get that colored in. And I just love coloring anything gardeny and flowery, so I enjoy all of this. I'm taking my, doing my videos a little bit, trying to make them shorter than my usual 1 hour videos, so I'm doing these in little clips. Just trying to show you guys how I go about each area and then explaining it to you and then meeting back up for the final, for the final part of it. So that's all that I'm basically doing, is just coloring it in, going one by one berry at a time, trying to surround that berry, getting all the areas covered, leaving a highlighted area. I'm just kind of marking that and then just blending in the line that I use. I actually just use a very, very light line to make the highlighted area, and then just blending it in with the rest of the berry as I, with the dark red, so that my line and my pencil line from the colored pencil is not noticeable. And it actually blends in, one thing about Faber Castell, it blends very well. So far, I would still have to say that Prismacolor Premieres are still my favorite. And then, like I said, after this, we're going to move on to the stem of the berries here. I believe I stopped this part of the video and then met up, once it's all done, show you a picture of it. And hopefully we all on the same page after all the berries were colored. And then we'll move on to the stem, and then we'll get started on the flowers. Like I said, I'm only keeping this video up to like, 30 to 45 minutes, and I think this video is about 35 minutes. And then I'll make a part 5 for all the rest of the flowers. Just trying to take you guys through each of the designs on this page step by step. I know it's a little slow, it's a little tedious, but some folks out there that, do color alongs would rather see it done step by step and have someone explaining each of the steps that they're doing. I mean, you guys can, as you see me doing highlights, making my highlighted area, if you guys are proficient enough and are confident that you guys can make your highlighted area without making a line, so you guys can go ahead and do that, whichever way is comfortable for you. That's just how it works for me, so that's how I do it. It just makes it easier, so I'm, as I'm coloring along, because sometimes your mind can wander off. It just reminds me that I left that area, blank for a reason. One thing I like about coloring so much is that it just lets my mind just, wander off, and I don't think about anything else but just trying to focus on what I'm doing at that time, because I'm so focused in getting all the colors in. So yeah. Okay, so I think this is, oh, I thought it was almost the end. Not quite yet. There comes in that red violet again. Just adding those shadows and outlining the berry a little bit further there. I'm doing the bottoms because, you know, that's where the darkest area would be, since it is the bottom. There you go. Just darkening as